You asked for it, you get it. Stray Kids, Muddy Water. You don't get everything you asked for, you get some of the things you asked for, and you asked for Muddy Water, and here it is. I love Stray Kids. That's true. That's 100% true. But I do get scared when I see lyric-only videos, and I don't see hundreds of thousands of views. I don't see millions of views. I see like 30,000 for it. It's scary. It's scary to me because I'm like, if it's so good, why is no one else watching it? But you can't always follow the crowd. But you kind of should, right? With the tsunami back in the day, all the animals ran away from the humans. They just ran, and humans were like, "What are those animals doing? Why are they running? Stupid animals!" Like animals knew the tsunami was coming. So like sometimes you should follow the crowd. Whatever, Stray Kids. I actually don't remember the last time I heard a song by Stray Kids that was bad. But to be fair, I don't remember a lot of things. Let's go. I already recognize that chord progression. So if it was an A, it would be like A to a G to a F to E, and it's blues with this descending bass line.
Rain falling on my face, I'm washing off that sweat off, making me cleaner than the dirt on my hands. Makes me tougher, energetic youngster like me. Let's play the muddy water. Looking back at what you said behind my back doesn't matter, cause I'm a winner, strong believer. 24.
Bro, this is early 90s hip hop. This is like a Tribe Called Quest, like way back. Like before I was into hip hop, it's like that hip hop. But after the 80s, it's like the early 90s hip hop, like right before gangster rap became a thing. It's one of the, it's like that.
With the members, scoring goals like a team player. Execute the shadows all around me, call me Demon Slayer. 선택 모든 색을 좋아하는데 굳이 칙칙한 운동화 신지 않아도 돼. 더블로 빡세게 묶고 당당히 그 뒤에 서 있게 돼. 누굴 원망하는 것도
What do you say?
걸어가다 보면 내 앞에 있는 것들 뒤에 서 있게 돼.
I end up standing behind the things in front of me. I assume that means I'm coming to get you. I'm standing behind it. Cause I'm about to choke it.
누굴 원망하는 것도 속은 아픈 척도 난 티를 절대 내지 않아 유치한 건 별로 원망하는 것도 속은 아픈 척도 다 튀어버린 지능 딛고 앞만 보고 Don't fly, feeling so fly, feeling so fly. This my life.
This does not sound like any Stray Kids thing I've ever heard. This absolutely sounds like, I don't know, 1993, 1994, 95, like rap, like I think like right before Biggie and Pac take off, like right before that. I mean, a Tribe Called Quest is who I'd always go to for like an example of that. But check out a Tribe Called Quest. Do yourself a favor.
Style, that's my lifestyle. Hey. Breathing, working, moving, sit down and listen for once. 우리 going, 우리 말은 후회 내리는 빗물 바꿔놓지 세상의 기준 너도 모르게 흙탕물 물을 잊지 말고 멀리 꺼져 흙탕물 물은 가리고 water. This is our flow, just step off the show 흙탕물 머리 water.
Also to be kind of funny, I understand they're Korean, but also the rhyme scheme also seems to be kind of similar to that early 90s. You gotta think about, I mean, you don't have to, but you should think about the development of rap across like the late 70s to the 80s, like, I don't know, Heavy D and the Boys and blah, 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 Salt and Pepper, up into the 90s, Tribe Called Quest, and then going a little further, Tupac and Biggie, going a little further, Jay-Z and Eminem, and then going further into Migos and all that. So like, there's a change in the way people rap, just like all music. But people think rap, they're just like, oh, things that rhyme is rap. Yeah, but the actual culture evolves and changes and splinters off into different directions. And I think the actual sound of this is very much like, I was a baby, man. I mean, this sounds like something I found out about later when I was older.
This is our flow, just step off the show. 땀을 빠진 껌을 씹어봤자 내 입만 나쁘니까 뱉어 태도 행실은 반드시로 짠듯 약점 풍기는 내게 내가 튀긴진 파브리지 한참 전에 내린 빗물 고여있지 아직도 나아감을 멈칫하게 만드는 과속방지턱 삐꺼 찢겨 뜸이 바닥에 딱 붙어.
Oh, so I'm assuming on the coughing, squeaking, tired, he's actually making fun of them with the sound of someone who's coughing, squeaking, tired. But that is in Korean, so I can't know for sure. But it sounds like when you use words, kind of like onomatopoeia, like a buzz, a zzz, like it feels like it's a joke hidden inside the pronunciation.
Going more, go 대로 보였군 제법 탁한 수질 오염 주범들 회의의 진상 규명 시급해 다들 회피는 여금만 내비고 나몰라 잘못은 쟤네게 떠넘김 물통에 더하기 먹통 고구마 100개 먹은 듯한 기분이야 버젓이 고개를 바짝 터드는 거 바닥판에서.
That rhyme scheme you would have not found in the 90s, early 90s. That doesn't exist. The that didn't really.
Feeling so fly, feeling so fly, feeling so fly, feeling so fly. This my lifestyle, this my lifestyle. Breathing, working, booty, going, booty, 말은 후회, 내리는 빗물, 바꿔놓지 세상의 기준. 너도 모르게 흠뻑 젖지. 착한 공기 대신 맑은 공기 섭취. 흙탕물, 흐리지 말고 멀리 꺼져. 흙탕물, 물은 가리고 water. This is our flow, just step off the show. 흙탕물, 머리 water. 흙탕물, 흐리지 좀 말고 흘러가라.
Yeah. Yeah, they had a lot of pitch shifting. Oh, there's more? I was gonna say they got a lot of pitch shifting on the actual samples, where like as soon as they hit the sample, it dives down. Doom, which I don't know if people think about it anymore, but old ragtime piano, the old sound of like ragtime blues piano, which is I don't know. Muddy Waters was a guitarist, but then it started off with piano, so I'm not sure how much they're thinking about that. But the old sound of ragtime jazz and blues is a sound of a kind of out of tune piano. So I kind of feel like these little pitch changes in the samples is kind of reflective of that. And information maybe you don't need to know, but like on like a guitar or a bass, violin, viola, cello, whatever, we have like one string at a time. One string, one note. But in a piano, it's not set up that way. In a piano, you have three notes, you have three strings for a lot of keys, two strings for a lot of keys. So if you have three strings for one key, for one note has three strings. If one of those strings changes, expands, contracts, now all of a sudden you have this really weird dissonance inside of a single note. And so a lot of old jazz stuff, you know, these are people who are playing on pianos that are not serviced off. We're talking about like 100 years ago, man, you know, like 150 years ago. So there'd be this out of tune nature within a single note. That's the best I can describe it. Go listen to it. It's like, imagine you had 3 copies of me talking right now, but each one of them was a little off in pitch. I think nowadays people kind of call that a chorus effect, slightly being out of pitch, because a chorus of singers sometimes is out of pitch a little bit within each section. But yeah. Hey, history lesson. Let's go. However, this piano is digital and not out of tune at all. Completely different than what we heard in the beginning. I ain't falling for this. I think the song's over. I think this is just like a epilogue added maybe by the other person. Whatever. Good job. What I'll say about the song though, if I'm gonna add this to a playlist, I'm actually gonna add it to my throwback playlist. Because I have like a playlist of like like old stuff that pops up, like really old stuff, like super old stuff. 20 years old, 30 years old, 40 years old, 50 years old. Like it can't all go on the same playlist. I don't want Frank Sinatra popping up with Drake and then popping up with EXO, BTS. That doesn't make any sense to my mind. So like, what's crazy is that this is like a new song, but I would not put it on a new playlist. This would have to go on a super old playlist because the actual sound of it, it's the musical equivalent of a period piece. Like we have, what was it, Downton Abbey? Never watched it, but I mean, I get the idea. It's like hoity-toity, some old time ago or something. I don't know. I didn't watch it, but it looks like that. So like, even if it's new, it looks like old. So what category does it go in? It's old. It's new, but it's old. So that's where I would put it. Which is weird. That's a weird thing to say. That's a thing though. People like new things that are old things. I want something new, but I want it to be like something I saw 20 years ago. That's like its own, that's a very specific thing. I want something I hadn't seen, but I want it to look exactly like everything I've ever seen. It's kind of ridiculous. Speaking of ridiculous, I'm out.